What's going on, guys? Matt here, back again with another video. We're back today again. We're going to react to some more sports card investing TikToks and see what we can find out there. And yeah, have a go or have some praise for some people that post TikToks. As always, make sure you do like and hit the subscribe button down below, and make sure you are following me on TikTok at mattscardshop.
As a teenager, number one, and you already know it, TikTok, garage sailing, easiest way to actually make bank. Number two, going to people, knocking on their door, and trying to wash their car, shovel their snow, or clean up their yard. Hard work. Number three, buying sports cards and flipping.
I mean, if you haven't followed GaryVee, it's always good to start on the GaryVee TikTok because he has a ton out there, and he's always good. I guess it's always good to reflect back and see whether he was right and wrong in certain things. But I mean, to start off there, I think people might hate on GaryVee for a lot of things, but I think he does inspire a lot of the younger generation, and even people my age and a little bit older even. I think the thing, what GaryVee says about sports cards in it being a hustle for kids is a great point. And it's not just the buying and selling factor with sports cards for kids that I think is an important thing to learn, but other things as well, like negotiating, communicating to other people. I think that's been a massive step for me personally, and I'm an adult, in developing those sorts of skills. So I think, with sports cards, there's a lot of things to grasp that may not be taught in the classroom. Like I said, communication, negotiating, looking up prices and all that sort of stuff. Doing your due diligence when it comes to these sorts of things. I think, not just the buying and selling aspect and making money and all that sort of stuff, but other things as well related to the hobby where your kids can learn from, and not just your kids as well, but adults as well.
This was $80 on eBay 2 weeks ago. Now it's $140. That's how I think. Instead of spending $80 on a hoodie that makes you feel fresh, invest in something and then flip it, buy the hoodie and pocket the 60 bucks. Flip life. And sports cards are at the top.
We're going to start off with a range of GaryVee TikToks here. So yeah, I think that's a good mindset to also go by, especially as you're younger, trying to, flip your way, using your side hustles to fund stuff that you're really wanting to purchase. I was a really big culprit of this when I was younger, wanting to buy all these sort of flashy things, whether it's to show off or, for that sort of, for your own value, I guess, in a way. But I think if you do want those sorts of things, make sure you earn it with things other than your work money, I guess. So, obviously you work for your money, but use that money to fund other stuff. And I think, if you're using your profits from sports cards, use that profit whenever you want, whether that's, if you want to be using that extra money to save for a house or something like that, go for it. But if you want to be splurging it and buying those extra sort of things, I would rather use sports card profit than my actual hard-earned sort of work money, I guess. And not saying that your sports card profit isn't hard-earned money, but you know what I mean? Use that still as secondary money for that sort of stuff.
What is hot right now?
Basketball's uncomfortably hot. Vintage basketball has completely exploded. Dr. J rookie cards in a 8 out of 10 grade. As you get more into the world, that there's companies now that you send it to and they grade it. PSA, BGS, SGC, these are the companies that grade cards. A Dr. J PSA 8 was $800 a year ago, and now is an $8,000 card. That's a 10 times explosion.
I mean, so this one was around September 2020. It's around, like, I guess, the hype of vintage basketball sort of taking off. I'm not sure what the price of the Julius Erving's going for right now. I'll pop it up on the screen, but it was around the time that vintage basketball was starting to pop off. And my only one thing I have against that is around this sort of period as well, we had a lot of the, I guess, the older people that were collecting and investing saying, why is a Zion or a Jar worth this much? Tim Duncan should be worth this much and all that sort of stuff. But my one argument in investing in modern over vintage is that when people collect modern for those sort of short-term investing sort of plays, people like to track their investments. You're not going to get that sort of aspect with, Julius Erving, one of the top 50 greatest players of all time, but someone that, like, what is going to cause a spike? And we had that sort of period where vintage was taking off, and I saw a lot of, the older sort of crowd saying, I was right. Tim Duncan, all these sorts of players, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, that they've taken off. That's how it should be. And then I saw a lot of people buying at that sort of high price, not knowing what to buy, buying really high pop count cards like your top space and all that sort of stuff, and losing a fair ton of their investment. So just make sure you do your due diligence when it comes to vintage, modern, and all that sort of stuff. I know people might always say that vintage is undervalued because of the achievements, but you've also got to think that what is going to cause a spike in their price. And if they're retired in the Hall of Fame already, you pretty much need a movie, or as much as you don't want to say it, like a death or something like that to really spike a price. And that's why, for me personally, I've also grown up a little bit later, but I would prefer to collect modern because these are the players I've grown up watching. And yeah, I'm happy if it comes to vintage. I like owning autographs. That's always been a massive thing for me. But yeah, in terms of collecting vintage and having all their rookie cards, that's not for me. But not to go at anyone that does want to collect it.
These are 3 things you're doing that damage your cards. Forget about a PSA 10 unless you grab your cards from the sides and not the corners. If you accidentally mishandle the card, then make sure to check it out with a flashlight and a magnifying glass. Cut the top right corner of the sleeve so you don't ruin any of the corners. That way you can better your chance at getting a PSA 10. It should look a little something like this. Lastly, don't force the card into the top loader. Only push down on the sleeve and not the card. But anyways...
That's a good point. I think that's a very good TikTok. Again, like I always say on TikTok, people might think it's all about dancing and that sort of stuff, but you really can learn some educational stuff on there. I think those 3 points are really good. I have to kind of bring up a bit of a story, and I've mentioned it before when I was first collecting. I saw, I watched a lot of breakers. This was around 10 to 15 years ago, and I was really, wanting to maintain my sort of collecting when I was in high school. So I bought a box of cards, and I was kind of thinking in my head, how do I store these cards? So saw that they were, using top loaders, and I didn't really kind of understand what top loaders did or anything like that, and ordered a bunch of, really thick top loaders for these really thin cards. And I still remember getting the 75-point top loaders and getting these regular size cards and just putting them in without a regular sleeve, and you can tell what damage that would have done to the card. But I think those 3 points are really good. Make sure you are taking care of your cards and when you're handling them. Yeah, that's all I've got to really say.
All right, the guy who doesn't know anything about sports is back.
About time one of my TikToks actually popped up on the feed. I do have to, again, I'll say this again, my cousin who's in this video knows nothing about sports cards. He knows Michael Jordan. He's heard of names, but in terms of anything sports cards, yeah. And I do this little game with a lot of people, my friends, my cousins, my girlfriend, and all that sort of stuff. And kid you not, he's probably the best person I have on it. I do kind of say to them beforehand, like what the rarity of the card is and whether it's a top end or a mid end or a low end card, and if the play is good or anything like that. So it's not a complete blind guess, but he does very well.
And we're back with another episode. So how much is this sports card worth?
Looks to me like 23,000.
2 of the greatest players of all time, Michael Jordan, LeBron James autograph. How much is this sports card worth?
Ooh.
Do you know these players, by the way?
Yeah, I have an idea. Both play basketball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And LeBron's retired, yeah?
No.
Ah, okay. Well, I reckon it's about, I don't know, 250 grand.
Last card up, Trae Young, Tiger Stripe here.
I do have to agree with one of the comments as well. I just read it before, but how is that card not worth more than the Giannis? I think you have 2 of the greatest players of all time. That would honestly be my dream card, an MJ LeBron dual autograph card. Honestly dope.
PSA 10, how much is this sports card worth?
12,000.
Again, not a bad guess. Three not bad guesses. I mean, the MJ LeBron one was pretty off, but honestly, if you told someone that to guess the price of an MJ LeBron autograph on the same card, you'd probably say around the same price as well.
Today, all you gotta do is tap it like this, and whoa! We did not only have 1, not 2, but 3 2019 Panini Prism LeBron James basketball cards. So I bought these for $280 each, and now look at the sell it now price. $622. You see it. How much you guys think these cards are going to be worth in the playoffs? That being said, I'll see y'all soon. I love y'all so much. You know, remember, don't sleep. I got the heat.
I mean, at the time, that was a great buy and sell. There was a lot of people high on the LeBron James sort of first Lakers uniform craze. It's and trend, I guess, but at the end of the day, it is a trend for a reason, and they don't last. But yeah, it's crazy how he was able to sell them for $700 when currently I'm pretty sure the last sold price was around $30. So yeah, I know a lot of people were massive on the card as well, and then even the LeBron tribute dunk, which is, you know, a nice card as well. But would I be paying $700 for a base 10 when there's a high amount of circulation going around? Probably not. So that's just something, again, you have to assess when you're sort of buying a card.
Everything in card collecting and investing, you have to look at the brand of the players. Steph Curry has a good brand. Michael Jordan has a good brand. Luka has a good brand. That's what drives his stuff up the way it is right now. Those guys have good brands. Jason Tatum is a phenomenal player, but he don't have a brand. So therefore, his stuff don't go astronomically high like Luka.
I think that's a very good point. There's a lot of hatred sort of in the comments, weirdly enough, but it's a very good point, and it's not obviously not having a go at Jason Tatum in a way. Like he's a great player, but in terms of his branding, he doesn't have as big of a name as like your Luka, your Steph Curry, your LeBrons as well. I think a very good example of having a brand and maybe not equating to your card market as well is the Ball family. You know, Lonzo Ball, his rookie season, didn't really have the greatest rookie season, but he was still sort of like one of the main chasers in that rookie class. And then even after that, you know, he's sort of still held a really big following. And that's, you know, the big baller brand or whatever it is. And then even with LaMelo coming into the league now, LaMelo, you know, everyone says that the Ball family have a lot of haters, but LaMelo's had a lot of people who are big collectors of him, and I find that a lot of LaMelo, Lonzo cards have gone for a premium in comparison to probably where they should be. If LiAngelo does get signed to an NBA team and gets a proper roster and a proper card, I imagine that will have a bit of a bump as well. So you've got to remember that branding does matter in sports and to collectors as well. I think another good example in the NFL is someone like your Johnny Manziel, who's, you know, may not be a great NFL player, but someone who, I guess, had a sort of a great following in college, and yeah, well known for his partying and all that sort of stuff. But his cards, again, still go for a relatively high price of what he's achieved. So yeah, that is it for another round of me reacting to some TikToks. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. As always, make sure you guys leave a like and hit the subscribe button down below. And if there's any TikTok content creators that you want me to check out, do leave a comment down below as well. And yeah, guys, I'll see you guys all in future videos. Take care.